Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I've seen the Michael Jackson movie, and it honestly shocked me. Like, I thought it was gonna be like just some other biopic that was gonna be like decent, and that I wouldn't probably talk much about. Like, for example, I like the Elton John movie biopic, and the one biopic that Hugh Jackman was in that came out like earlier this year. Song Sung Blue is the one I'm referring to with Hugh Jackman. But like Michael Jackson or the movie, this one was like really good. Those who weren't around when Michael Jackson was alive were too young to really appreciate his music when he was alive. I don't think fully understands um how Michael Jackson in a way ruled the world. And especially before social media. I mean, you got people like someone like Taylor Swift who is popular, but this Michael Jackson was Taylor Swift, in terms of his popularity, was like Taylor Swift, but way more popular, times 100 times what Taylor Swift's popularity is. And I do like how in this film they have went over actually stuff that is public knowledge, but stuff maybe not many people know. And then I also like how they gave us some behind the scenes type stuff. We got, for example, Bad, and we got how essentially that was made, which was impressive. I didn't really realize those people in the music video were actually gangsters. I thought they were just actors acting like gangsters, but no, they were two rival gangs, and Michael Jackson unified them, I guess, even if it was for a short time. And I think seeing Thriller was awesome because I first noticed people certain people theaters everyone was clapping when Thriller came on, but for my theater, I got a lot of gasps and ooh, like it was in a way a different form of clapping. It got people's interest. Oh shit, here we are. Um, I think what I liked is that when they were doing the whole Pepsi commercial and like show the recovery time and in the hospital and kind of the damage that the Pepsi tour that Michael's father who was a jerk. And I know I'm not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but in my opinion, from what I've heard and what I've seen, shouldn't have been a dad. Um, I liked how they show his strained relationship with his father, and how his relationship with his dad was strained. Not by Michael's fault whatsoever. It's not his fault, but how like Michael Jackson's dad was the one who saw his talent essentially, or among the first people to see it, and how he like essentially helped push Michael Jackson to be where he was, pretty much being the king of pop and the king of the world, essentially. It was something. I still don't agree with like how like he decided to treat his children. Like don't like the guy, and I mean the Joe Jackson, not Michael Jackson. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, and I do think that if you guys like biopics, you guys may like this movie. And I think you guys would truly enjoy this movie more if you guys are Michael Jackson fans. And I do think this movie is unique because, like, I don't think you necessarily need to be a Michael Jackson fan to enjoy this film. Sure, will hope, but you can. I feel like as a casual person, like who might say, "Oh, I like Man on the Mirror," or "The Way You Make Me Feel," or "Dirty Diana," for example. Like you might like those music in isolation, and you might still like the movie. Like you don't have to be a Michael Jackson megastore, or really consider yourself as a Michael Jackson fan per se. But I do think you guys would enjoy this film. On critics list, I gave this like a 98. And there was times when I like legit forgot that his nephew was him. There were times like I thought I was like forgot that I was watching a movie, like an actual biopic per se. There were multiple moments when I felt like I legit was watching Michael Jackson, a documentary, if that makes sense. And I love how like Michael Jackson had word of affirmations. Like because from like the little interviews that I've seen, he believed that the power of the mind and words would dictate your surroundings. And that's something I need to like really like learn how to do. From take inspiration from Michael. I'm trying not to like go too much into it because, like I said, there are many parts where I feel like it's public knowledge stuff, but there's a few parts where like, dude, that was pretty cool. And I do dig the fact that they filmed Thriller in the movie, the same place Michael did in real life, so that was pretty cool. And I do like, spoiler alert, how like towards at the end, how they teased a sequel to this in MCU style, which that was much as making how much is made by the time I'm making this video, which I will give you guys a link to a video, uh, the last video that tells you guys how much this made opening weekend by the time I have am making this video and I'm making this video. It's like the amount of money they made so far was about the amount of money they tracked this movie was gonna do in its long run, and did it like in like it exceeded it apparently in one day. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I do think that you weren't around when Michael Jackson was alive, I don't think those people would truly understand the impact Michael had on the world. I would have liked to have seen like one thing I would have liked to have seen is like when he finally returned and like there's this clip that I've seen. Maybe I'll add this clip too in the description below where like he came back and there's like a group of people singing We Are the World because he had a part to play in that song. And Michael, like those people are singing for a little bit, and then Michael Jackson walks out, and there's this like huge cheer. And Michael was definitely well known throughout like the globe, and like I don't think we'll get someone like Michael Jackson for a really long time. I be surprised if we ever get someone like Michael Jackson again on like in terms of like star power and just influence of the world. I'll be shocked if it's in my time because that was unique. And I think Michael Jackson knew how much like influence he had in the world to a certain degree and love they had from the world to a certain degree. I didn't think he like fully grasped how just beloved he was. And I think it would be very difficult to fully grasp how beloved you like I would be in if I was in Michael Jackson's shoes, just how beloved I am towards practically every single human being, except for like the select few who decides to be haters. Um, are and Michael Jackson was special. He was. So this was a good movie. I This movie had a lot of heart, and I felt like I was finally able to go to a concert, a Michael Jackson concert, and like I do hope we get a sequel. I wonder just how far they'll go and his life will they will go. I wonder if in the sequel they'll like go as close to his death as possible, like do like hold the whole this is it thing and then just explain to us in the title that he died and how he died. Or like if we're going to legit see that happen in the film. So that would be like one thing would be interesting to see. And it was a sad incident, but I'm curious to see like if they'll go and reference that in the credit scene or actually show us that or their take of how that may have happened exactly. Because I was like in Las Vegas for our family reunion as 13-year-old when I heard Michael Jackson died. I was like, that is really sad. And I do remember watching his funeral. I do remember that was a pretty nice service that they did, the public one. I don't know if they mostly did a private one, but it was nice public service. But anyways, I am tempted to see the whole Michael Jackson movie in theaters again. And again, if you guys are a huge fan of biopics, then I think you will enjoy this. You don't even have to be a Michael Jackson fan to enjoy this. Sure, will hope. But again, I don't think you need to necessarily be a Michael Jackson fan in order to for you to appreciate this. Sure, it will help to be a Michael Jackson fan so you can better appreciate it or appreciate it more. But like I said, I don't think Michael Jackson really grasped. Well, I think he knew to a certain degree, but like I said earlier, it would be very hard to like fully grasp just how like beloved Michael Jackson was from his angle. Like he knew, but I didn't know fully, if that makes sense. And the fact that the Jackson movie is doing so well in theaters now speaks volumes of his character. Despite the haters trying to track his name to the ground, like 18 years later, still trying to track his name to the ground after he's dead and can't defend himself. So, point is, I like the movie. It was a good movie. You guys would enjoy it as a biopic perspective and a Michael Jackson movie. And I, like I said, I do genuinely hope we'll get a second movie because I feel like they had like a beginning, middle, and end. You kind of get a sense towards the end that there's more stories of Michael Jackson that they can tell and they want to tell. And you can't say, "Oh, money's the issue," because the expectations for how this movie was going to go has been exceeded in a positive light. So, just shows how awesome Michael Jackson is. Anyways, have you guys seen it? Let me know. That said, love y'all. Have a wonderful day.